Hi guys, today after I did the really funky bit of, oh this lid's a bit yucky, after I did the funky pendants the other day, these ones that were excessively loud to me, and I said while I was doing it, oh I've got an idea. Well, that's what we're doing today. We're going to do a Makumigane. Now, if you remember, quite a while ago, I did a Makumigane, Makumigane with translucent and alcohol inks, and it was very, very subtle, very, very spring-like. Well, I'm going to kind of do that again today, but with brighter colours of alcohol ink. Because again, being mindful that some people haven't got a great deal of coloured clay maybe, so I'm just going to use some number 1 white. Oh, I've still not got used to where this camera and desk are sat. Opaque white number 1. So I suppose this would work with any pale clay again, and I'm obviously going to use some Cernit Translucent. I just like trapping it between my layers. For what we're doing, I don't think it will matter that much whether you put some in or you don't put some in. I just like to put some in, don't I? I like trapping my foil between it. So yeah, white or pale clay, optional translucent. I'm going to use some bluey greens. So I've got aqua, mermaid and turquoise. I'm also going to use a bit of black to put a couple of black layers in for a touch of contrast. So I'm basically just going to colour my clay in different colours. I'm also going to chuck a little bit of mica powder in. This is just a pearly colour by Ranger Perfect Pearls. Again, optional. I just like how it looks. And of course, I'm going to chuck a bit of foil in. Again, optional. These are just things I like throwing into the mix. And of course, a couple of cutters to poke holes in. You know, some pokey tools or the end of a pointy thing. I think I might do the trick where I cut a couple of holes in and roll some clay up. We shall see about that as we run through. Oh yeah, and my little, I'll just get my little ruler out because this makes really good line impressions. Right guys, so I'll go and condition some of this. I'm not making a huge block, you know, just maybe 1.5 inch square block of it. I'll use my cutter to cut some squares out, so it'll probably end up this big, the block. I'll go and condition some of this stuff. I'll be back in a sec. Hi guys. Okay, I've conditioned my white on a 3. So this is on a 3. It's not too thin, just nice. I've conditioned my translucent on a 4. I just want it a little bit thicker. No, not on a 4. This is on a 3. This is on a 2. Brain is not working. I told you, I'm having one of those weeks. Right, I think I'm just going to do 2 squares of each colour. And possibly 2 black. I'm not sure. So I'll just cut 8. To make sure I've got enough. Now you could use some black clay if you've got some, guys. I just thought I would try it with black, see how it works, because I'm assuming it won't sink all the way through and it'll give us a bit of a diffused look, so it might be quite funky for a change. Right, I've got Let's just pop that to one side. I've got 8 squares. I'll just get them picked up. Where's my flexi blade? I'll just get them picked up. And they're easier to handle. Right, 2 for you, 2 for you, 2 for you, and 2 for you. Right, I'll pop some out the way and then I don't accidentally get colour on them. Now if you remember in one of my, in that very pale Makume Gani we did, I watered the clay, the ink down with some alcohol. I'm not going to do it this time. I want it to be reasonably saturated. In fact, just let me get a scrap of paper to place these on once I'm done. Then if there's anything that leaks, it'll just soak into the paper. Right, and I shall start with my palest colour. And I could do with a little teensy brush. I'll just use this soft brush. So I'm just going to put a drop on and quickly spread it around, and it doesn't stain in a big block. I don't suppose it would matter if it did, but I just don't want a big blob of a drip of colour in it, if that makes sense. That's that one. And I know it looks like I'm putting quite a bit on, guys, but I just want a nice strong colour. I'm just going to put a little bit more onto this one because that one seems to be a bit stronger. There, that will do. Right, let's get these picked up to air off. Oh, it's stuck to my blade and won't come off. Come on, tricksy thing. Yeah, and plus this is very fresh clay. If you remember the trouble I was having the other day, this will leach it a little bit for me as well on this paper. Right, next colour. Where's that one? Let's put the lid on. Next colour is going to be turquoise. And I'm not worried about cleaning my brush in between because they're all the same colour family. So it won't really make that much difference to what I'm doing. Let's just get that spread around. So yeah, I was just thinking this again, if you haven't got much clay, colour wise, you don't want to waste it in case a good idea for a project comes up. I just thought, let's try some alcohol inks again, just to colour the clay up, and I think it'll give an interesting effect because obviously it's not going to be that colour all the way through, is it? We're just going to have a line of that colour, so there will be a lot of white in it, but I think it'll seep into it a bit and give us quite a muted effect, as much as that kind of tie-dye look did. And this is the Mermaid. This is a very, very greeny blue colour, but I just wanted kind of a light tone, a medium and a dark tone. This colour's beautiful. It's like a very, very deep greeny turquoise, isn't it? Yeah, a few people, excuse me because I've forgotten who did, but a few people have been posting some very sea coloured things at the minute in the group, and one lady's pendant, I think it was Angela, but forgive me if it wasn't, stunning colours. You could have just paddled in it, you know, the colours were so ocean like. I felt like I could have just gone for a paddle. It's making me pine to go on holiday. I do hope this lockdown business stops soon. I'll just, of course I've got it everywhere, I'll just clean my desk with a bit of alcohol. and make sure that I haven't got too much. I've got a speck on me translucent there, but I don't think it will matter much. Oh, I've just had a thought. I could maybe colour my foil with different splash. Oh, I'm going to do that. Let's do that. I'll just do this first before we get carried away. Right, and the next two are going to be black. Now, this is the first time I've used this brand because I've got Ranger, but I've actually ran out of my black. So I'm trying this brand because it's a tiny bit cheaper for the same size of bottle. And it does seem that a lot of people like to use this Pinata brand. Like I say, it's not, I've never used it before. I've used a couple of different branded ones. I can't remember the names of them now. Yeah, Viva Decor do a lovely one. But I don't think they do it anymore. I think they've discontinued it. Wow, that black is jet black, isn't it? There's no translucency whatsoever in it. Fabulous. It's quite thick, this stuff as well, compared to the Ranger one. Maybe it's more pigmented, because I think this is classed as an art one, isn't it? Whereas the Tim Holtz one are a bit of a craft and mixed media one. But still, beggars can't be choosers. Use what we've got. Okay, so there's the black. Now then, we need to let them air off a little bit. So I think I'm probably only going to use 2 layers of silver. So if I just use my cutter to judge 2 pieces, I could just cut a line in this, I think. No, I can't. Right. Oh, I've made a right pig's ear of that, haven't I? Right, I'll just use a small piece. I don't want to colour too much of it. Pop that there. I'll just pop this on a bit of kitchen roll, guys, then it doesn't float around too much. And I think I might just, with a bit of turquoise, put a bit of alcohol on first. Oh, I need to refill my bottle, I think. I'm going to put a couple of drops of Mermaid on, turquoise on, and a couple of drops of Mermaid on. And I'll just smoosh them about. I don't know if it's going to make that much difference. Oh my goodness. That wasn't the best idea I've ever had, is it? No, this flake is too delicate. Let's pop that in the bin. I'm just going to use plain, guys. That silver that I've got is very, very fine and thin. It doesn't want to... Oh, I could do it... Oh, yeah. Stupid woman. I could do it while it's on the clay, can't I? I'll do it while it's on the clay. Oh my goodness. I am definitely having brain farts today. Just trying to clean my hands up a bit. I've got ink everywhere. Oh my god. Do you know, look at the state of me. I've got Pebeo paints in my nails and I can't get it out. Well, I could if I tried a bit harder, I suppose. I need to soak, give myself a little manicure, I think. Right, stop faffing about, Kath. Stop faffing about. Right, I'll just get a bit of this white that was left. Just to oh, can you hear that rain? It's been raining here. Since I said the other day that the sky went black, it's done nothing but rain. I'm just going to put a little square of that down. As I've said previously, I just like putting a bit on the bottom, then we don't get any waste as such. It acts like a bit of a buffer, doesn't it? Right, now then, let's think. Are these dry? Oh, they're still a little bit damp, guys, so I'll give them a minute. I need 4 translucents to trap my stuff in. I'll just give them a minute and I'll go and try and clean my hands up a bit, I think. I'll just give them a minute to evaporate off. I won't be a sec. Hi guys, still airing off a bit, but I totally forgot about making a little sausage, didn't I? That we can insert in the block. So I'm just going to cut some of this translucent off. You can use white. I'm going to use translucent. That'll do, I think, for what we need. And like I say, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to roll it out a bit. So I think what I'll do is I'll just splash a little bit of each colour that I've used on and spread it around. It just might make it an interesting feature in the little roll that we're going to put on. Oh, I thought I'd put the wrong colour on then. And I just need to clean my brush because I had black on it, didn't I? Let's clean that off a bit. There we go. I'm just gonna, can you see I've got a spot of colour there? It won't matter for this, but that's not what I wanted to happen in the other one I did, because it might have shown up. Just blend them a little bit into each other there. And all I'm going to do with this is making sure my desk is clean. Should I do dark on the inside? Yeah, I'll do dark on the inside. Just going to roll this up and make a sausage with it as tight as I can. I seem to have picked some ink up there, but it doesn't matter. And then we're just going to roll it out. Like so. It doesn't have to be perfect. Let me just check which size of cutter I want to use. Maybe, oh, I don't know, either that one or that one. So that'll do for what we need it to do. I'll just pop that to one side with the cutters. Yeah, so I think these are dry enough now to stack. Again, we just give everything a wipe. Make sure I've not got any ink anywhere. Right, so that's our base. And I think I'll do dark to light. Yeah, I will. So I'm going to do dark. And this is where I'm going to add a little bit of mica. I've put my flipping daubers away, so I'm just going to be absolutely terrible and use my finger. I'm not putting a great deal on, guys, just a smidge. Blend it in. Then I'm going to do my light, next lighter one. And I don't think I'll put mica on that one. Then I'm going to do the light blue, you know what I mean, the lightest colour I'm using, and I'll put a bit of mica on that. Let's rub it in. Just make sure it's on the edges and the such. Then, now, shall I do the translucent or shall I do the black? I'll do the translucent. So I'm going to put a square of translucent on. Let's get that pressed down. Then I need a bit of foil. To stick on there. Oh, and can I tear it? Oh, that's not too bad. A little bit of foil. I am sore fingers and thumbs and not quite with it at all. I'm going to blame the weather. I'm just trying to get some onto that little scrap there. Now, I was going to colour it with ink, wasn't I? But I don't think I'll bother. It'll give a nice contrast to the silver, won't it? But you could, at this point, add a little bit of alcohol ink if you so wished. And then, of course, I'm going to trap that in translucent because I just like the way it works. And then I'll put some black on. Like so. And then start again with dark, didn't I? Dark to light, dark. A bit of mica. Light. I'm not going to put mica on that one. Lightest. I seem to have got something on that, but I'm not going to worry about it. Don't think you'll see it at the end of the day. Bit of mica. Let's get that off to one side, then I don't get it everywhere. And wipe that spill up. Then translucent. Oh, got a bit extra there. Try not to do my translucent with my filthy hands. Let me just give them a wipe. Bit of foil. Oh, this is just stuck to everything on my desk. So it looks like I'm putting it on in scraps. Goodness me, what is going on with me today? Right, there's some foil. Get off. Everything's sticking to me. And then my last piece of translucent. That's now got a bit of foil stuck in it. Again, doesn't really matter, does it? And then I'm going to top off with black. I'm actually thinking I might do both sides of this black. Maybe put, I'm going to put just a touch of black on this top piece. Just because I like the black to push through. And with it not being a black piece of clay, it may not... it may not push through the same. Oh, I've got a bit of green on this. But it's dark. Let me put a bit more on. Oh, I know I've put too much on. I'm really liking this Pinata brand, guys. It's very, very pigmented. I may have to start replacing my Ranger ones because I am actually starting to run out of them now, because I've been using quite a bit of alcohol ink and I do have quite a large collection of it. So let me put the top on that mica because it's going everywhere. Right, wipe up while that's doing its due. Oh no, I've got mica everywhere. Oh my goodness. Do you know? Wipe it on my pants. I'm just going to lift this off my desk a second. and just pop it there. Just while I get all this mica up. Right, and now you need to dry a bit. Where's my, oh, I put all my tea towels in the wash. I'm just gonna have to let that, I'll use this. This will dry it. Oh, it's going to be one of those days, guys, one of those days. Right, I think that'll be dry enough now. It's still a bit tacky, but it'll be fine, I'm sure. I'm just gonna pop that other black piece on top. Let me grab, oops, my baking tray. Let me grab my roller. And I'll just give this a little roll from outside, inside out, just to check I haven't got any bubbles stuck. Again, not that it really matters at the end of the day. Now, shall I roll this out thin and get some different layer in, or shall I just work with it as, I think I'm just going to work with this block as it is, guys. I'm not going to, I'll just give the bottom a little roll though, just to make sure that it's of an equal size. Yeah, I don't want to make my layers too thin, because then they'll just all merge into one, because I did put it in quite thin, didn't I? Right, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. Right, let's do some holes. I think I'll use this one, and I think I'm just gonna do 3 across. So I'll do the one in the middle first. Oh, there we go. Where's my thing to poke it out with? Hey, shaped wooden today I am. Oh, I think them colours are going to look funky. Might save them and do something with them. They normally end up in my scraps pile. Right, let's press this one down. And get it poked out. And this one. Oh, yeah, with the black clay, it isn't smearing down as black normally would, if that makes sense. So I won't get that black smear throughout. Let's just take a bit of our sausage. I'm just going to chop the tatty end off. I don't know how deep it is. I could do with making this sausage a bit fatter though. I'm just scrumpling it up a bit and making it a bit fatter. I think that will probably work well. There we go, 1. Oh, look at that little spiral. That's going to look cool. There's 2. In you go. Down to the bottom. And 3. Oh, I've distorted that hole a little bit, haven't I? Go on. In you get, little sausage. Oh, it doesn't want to go. Let me just pick this up a second. I've distorted the hole a little bit and it's not happy. Let's just roll it out a bit thinner. And I can make sure it's gone all the way down. I think that's all the way down. I'll just chop that off and press it in there. Right, I'll just squeeze that and give it a little roll to make sure those little spirals are nice and bonny. Don't want them too distorted. Go that way as well. And then I think all I'm going to do is, where's my, oh, I'll poke some dots in. These dots are always good fun, aren't they? I'll have some dots. Let's give that a squeeze. And then, oh, there it is. And there's the ruler. Now, I don't know how these colours are going to smudge. I maybe should have just used a little bit of black on the top, but we'll see. I'm just going to push that through like that. And the same on that side. And let's get this squished back together. I've got my square doodahs somewhere, haven't I? I'll just do this. Oh, the blackbirds have returned. We always get a lot of blackbirds around here. They're so lovely. They're always singing away. And I think I might just put a few more dots in. One there, one there, one there, one there, and maybe one on each end. Just for a bit of funkiness. There we go. Let's get that rolled out a bit. And I'll just flip and do the same on the other side. And I'll just bring it back in again. Just a little bit. Okay, we're done. Oh, my hands are filthy. I need to clean up before I start playing with this. Right, I'm going to let that rest a little bit, guys. Just because we've been manipulating it quite a bit. And I'll be back shortly. Okay, guys, we're ready. I'm dying to see what this looks like. I hope it's not a total fail. Because I will be really disappointed. Right, let's just give it a little slice through and see what we've got. Oh, look at that. I think this is going to make some very unusual pieces. Right, start again. We'll cut a couple of slices and make a couple of cabochons. I think I'm just going to, because I cut this a bit wonky, so I'm just going to slice a little bit off the back of this just to make it flatter. And as you know, don't worry, all my scraps will be used. Now, I don't want to stretch it out. What shall I do? What shall I do? Now, my lovely friend Lorraine, hi Lorraine if you're watching, look what she sent, well, she gave me. She's been making her own moulds. So I think I might use one of these. Shall we test one out? I know she didn't tell me, but I'm assuming I can't. I don't think I can bake in these. I need to ask her. But I think I'll do one of them. Because I do like it. I love a decent sized cab. Don't we all? Or shall I use one of my new cutters? Maybe I'll use one of these. This one's quite thick, so I could roll it out a little. Let's get some lolly sticks, because I don't want to overstretch it, guys. Where have I put them all? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's see how this does. See if I can just stretch it out a little bit. to fit in. I'll have to back it on something, mind you, because of that black on the back. Let's have a see if I can get this stretched out enough without warping it too much. Right, definitely have to go down to a 2, and I think I'll have to back it on a little bit of white maybe. That should be plenty. Wow, that's going to look so funky. I love it when a plan comes together. I have to thank the ladies in the group now for giving me the inspiration for posting their sea-like things that they've been doing, because the colours just totally grabbed me that they've been using. Just hoping this bit of white's wide enough to yes it is. Right, I'll just give this a little burnish because it's been rumpled up over there. Let's give a little burnish for the back, and then I'll flip it over. There we go. Oh, I'll need it that way up, won't I? Right, I'll cut it out, pop it on and then recut it. Might be less of a faff that way for me. Trying to catch all 3 of those pretty swirls in. And if you've already watched my haul video where I show you these cutters, can you see there's barely any bits around the edge of this, because the cutters are reasonably sharp. They are very good cutters. I've just got a bit on that edge. Let's pop that on there. I'll just give it a little burnish where I've had my fingers on it, and of course that'll help it stick as well, won't it? There we go. Can't see too much of me flaking, my silver flake, but it just adds a pop, doesn't it, if that makes sense. Is that the one I've just used? It looks like it's shrunk. Well, that's really weird. I must have it must have shrunk back a bit when I picked it up, because it's not as long as the cutter should be now. How weird. I'll just give it a little roll with my roller to make sure that that's gonna fit my cutter again. Oh, don't know if that happened. How strange. And of course on this piece you can't really tell at the minute, guys, but it's I can't believe that's not going to fit now. I'm going to have to pick it up and just stretch it a little bit. I don't know what I did then when I was doing that. Didn't particularly use the best blade for doing that either, did I? Just going to stretch it out a little bit. It's still short. What on earth did I do when I picked it up? I'm sure it'll sort itself out when I recut it. Oh, I know what I did. I wiggled it, didn't I? And it must have shortened it. That's what happened. User error. Yeah, I'm just going to have to snip that bit off the bottom now because it's hanging a bit weird. But never mind. There, that's worked a treat. Yeah, I was just saying before I realised what I'd done, it doesn't look like I can see much foil, but there is quite a bit of translucent, isn't there? So it may lift it through the translucent in a moment. Let me get a scrap of paper to bake on. And use my flexi blade instead to pick this up. not my other blade. Right, I'll just pop that one to one side, guys. Let's put these scraps somewhere safe. And yeah, I would really like to put some in here. Now then, I could use this piece for that top bit, but I don't know if it'll join in very well. Let me think about this. I maybe need to cut 2 slices and cut a hole out, as I've done before in previous ones. Do you know what? I'll wait and I'll just do another little cab with this one, because I don't want to rush and spoil the shape and things on that. But I will use those moulds in another piece, I think. I'll just give this a roll. Again, I think I'm going to have to pack this on a bit of white, because it's now then, what cutter shall I use? I always go to my favourites, don't I? Do you lot have your favourite cutters? Like the shapes you just love the best? Like this one is a really good one as well. Right, I need to sort some white out for a backing. That needs to go in my scrap pile. I'll just go and condition a little bit of this white, guys, to use as a backing. I won't be a sec. Okay, I've got some here. I've just actually run it through with one of my texture sheets that I've got. It's like a leather look. That's quite cool. It's just a Fimo one. If you have a look for the Fimo sheets, they're just like a clear plastic. They're quite nice. I suppose I could have added that to my haul video, but I'd forgotten about it as usual. Right, let's pop that on there. Let's give it what did I do with that bit of burnishing paper? Don't know. Get another bit. Just give it a little burnish. Get them sticks in. Oh, it's there. Do you know, told you, past few days I've got a brain like a sieve. I don't know what's going on. There we go. Make sure my edges are clean on this cutter, then it helps to cut. Oh, and that's not the one I'm using. Good job I did that then, didn't it? I want to get those swirls in. So that should do it. I tidied up the other day, as you do. I'm trying to be quite tidy because I'm so, you know, my brain's so daft that sometimes I forget where. Yeah, and I forgot where I've put it. Not the brightest sparks sometimes, am I? I'm my own worst enemy. Try and be tidy and put things in a safe place and forget where I've put them. Just get those few tiny crumbs off. So there we go. Let's pop that. Oh, pop that down. I will just give that a little burnish because I've just caught my finger on it. And I think that one's okay, nice and smooth. Little crumb there. There, right, done. I'll just pop these in the oven, guys. I'm just going to do these two today. If I make anything else with the others, I will pop some pictures on. Right, I'll go and pop these in the oven and I shall be back shortly. See you in a min. Hi guys. Oh my god, I am so pleased with these, apart from the Doris fluff all over them. The whichever green it was has obviously got the pigment that colours it has obviously got some yellow in. So can you see it's got like a slight yellow haze around it, so that's looked quite cool. Of course I haven't got a great deal of black running through. I think if I'd have used black clay I would have a few more marks of bands of black, and there is only a teensy bit of foil that's showing through, just happens to be in the portion that I've caught it in, but the idea is very funky. I will definitely be doing this again. I need to sort the back out on this one, it's a bit of a mess. I'm not going to do anything with these guys. I'll post some pictures if I do anything to them. I may just buff them up and put them to one side while I have a think about what I want to do with them. But I love this little swirl in the middle, and it kind of dissipates to nothing where the lighter colours disappeared in. Looks kind of funky, doesn't it? And of course that's the rest of the block that I've got to play with. I can see quite a bit of translucence here, so that might look quite funky. Right guys, I shall, oh, just noticed that because that's leaned over a bit, it's made it look a bit 3D. Interesting. Right guys, I'll leave it there. Thanks to the ladies in the group, Angela, and I'm really sorry I forgot your name, who give me a bit of inspiration with the colours they were using. And I shall see you all in the next video. Bye guys.